first of all, find the wall with your heels and then step forward just a little bit. You can have your feet, have your big toes together, even if your heels don't come together. Ideally, heels and big toes come together. But that's not in everybody's option list. So you want to stand so that when you're standing straight, your buttocks very lightly touch the wall. And that gives you an idea of where the rest of your trunk is. I'm a person that likes to lean forward. I know that about myself. The wall is a very good teacher. So take your tailbone forward, lift from the pubic bone up, spread your feet on the floor and extend your feet. Abhijita, who is Mr. Iyengar's granddaughter and who is now sort of the face, the most senior teacher in Iyengar yoga right now, the face of yoga for us, has told us, she asked in class, she told us to practice more carefully and asked, do you know the difference between pressing and extending? Gripping and extending, lifting and extending. They sound like the same thing, but they're not quite. So I've been working with those ideas and I found them very, very helpful. So I hope that you will entertain those ideas yourself and see what it comes to you. As we extend upward through our legs, feel them coming together as one unit, rather than gripping the thigh muscles and lifting the kneecaps only. Those are good cues, but see how this is different. Drawing the tailbone forward, lifting the pubic bone upward, creates a nice base for the trunk. Can you extend upward from there? That firmness at the base of the trunk allows you to extend upward all the way up through your neck and the back of your head. You can feel the wall with your arms, maybe your elbows, maybe they're not quite straight. Straighten your arms. Know that the wall is near. You could go to one side or another just slightly and see if you're rotated at all in your trunk. See if you can unrotate. See if you can become more straight. Maintaining this extension, this idea of extension from the floor to the crown, can you add expansion? So as you inhale, think of extending. It's a diffused action, extending. And as you exhale, think of expanding. Maintain the extension, add expansion. And then as you inhale, extension. All the way to the fingertips. Expansion, exhale. Now maintain that stability of your trunk as you bring your arms forward. Watch what happens to your trunk. Watch what happens to your elbows, your shoulders. Watch what happens. Things are going to happen. If you can get, I've got my hands spread, you can get your thumbs on the wall. That's pretty straight. If they don't go there, that's fine. Don't distort your trunk to do that. But that you wouldn't want to go further. In some cases, you might not want to go that far either. Now, press and spread your feet on the floor. Extend up from your feet, through your legs, up through your hips, up through your waist, up through the shoulders, elbows, palms. And then as you exhale, on your next exhale, keep the extension, but add the expansion. Work with that idea for a few moments. And then flex at the wrist. If you can, touch your middle fingers together. If you can't, stretch your palms. Stretch the heel of your hand toward the ceiling. Then bring your palms, your fingertips to face the ceiling again. Palms face each other. Bring your arms down. Watch your trunk as it goes. And the Tadasana again. And then step your feet apart. So the real value of the exercise and the repetition, the practice, is that you get better at noticing what happens and discerning if that is a positive or a negative. And so if you're right at the wall like I was, you very likely notice that sometimes your hips move away from the wall a little, sometimes relied on the wall a little. So that suggests imbalance and that we could become steadier. And it gives us a way to work toward that, okay? All right, so now I'm going to do some chair work at the wall. So give yourself, let's see, how am I going to do this? What I want you to do is to put your chair so the seat faces the wall. The left heel is at the wall, and the right foot, I'm going to mirror you, steps out. And actually, we could, if you're a little less flexible, you can turn the back of the chair towards you. And then give yourself a lot of room. You're going to have that left heel at the wall. You can hold the chair for a moment for balance. Turn those left toes forward. Straighten both legs and move your hips so they're equal distant from the chair. Make your legs straight.
If people do not mute, every time they move, they jump onto the screen. Someone is not muted.
Every time what? I didn't hear all of the question.
If people do not mute, every time they move, it makes a noise and the screen goes from you to them.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't noticed that happening yet. So everybody, please check. There's a little microphone symbol on the bottom left corner. Please make sure that you're muted. It'll be red and have a line through it. Because that'll really mess up the recording and the video and make it annoying for people to watch. Okay, thanks, Lee. Okay, so turn your hips, but then I did that sort of at the expense of my knees for a moment. But I did that with awareness. So there was a method to my madness. So with my knees a little soft, it's much easier for me to draw my pelvis perpendicular. So the tailbone moves downward and inward, and the pubic bone moves inward and upward. And the hips are equidistant to the back of the chair. Now the legs can be straightened and maintain that hip alignment. Then if you're steady, you can keep your hands on the back of your hips with the thumbs on your sacrum. This will help you keep that sacrum down as you bend your knee. So bend your right knee, keep the left leg straight, keep the tailbone down and moving in, cubic bone in and moving up. You're using the chair, that's fine. Don't lean on the chair, use it for balance. And keep bending. And if your right leg, if this thigh happens to make it to 90 degrees, you're done. So if you have to scoot your chair a little bit, that may be a good sign, right? All right, let's come up. Straighten both legs. You can hold your chair for balance as you turn your feet so that they're parallel. Then step in and stand for a moment. And then change sides. So now your right foot will be at the wall. Turn your toes out just a little bit. And notice how the feet line up so that your left heel is in line with your right arch. Extend that left leg out as far as you can. Then you can let the back heel come up a little bit. Your knees bend, turn your hips to face the chair. Now, as you straighten your legs, draw these thighs inward. Extend your legs. Straighten your legs. The whole leg goes to work. Feel the strength of your entire leg under you. Tailbone is in and up. Pubic bone in and up. There's this firming at the pelvic floor. Thumbs are on the sacrum if you don't need to hold the chair for balance. Both legs are straight. Then begin to bend that left knee. Press the right heel. Then the left knee. Do you see what I just did? I adjusted. I knew I was going to need a little bit more room, so I adjusted. And it's good to go into a pose. Try it for a second or two. Come up a bit, adjust, improve something, and try again. And then come up. Square up your feet, and then step in. And stand for just a moment. Okay, let's practice that one more time. So, left heel at the wall. Stand with your feet apart. This is a better, more advanced way of aligning yourself in this pose. You start with your feet parallel, then turn the back toes inward. That would be your left, and the right toes forward. You're more likely to line up heel to arch. Turn your hips, draw that tailbone in and up, pubic bone in and up. So there's a lift. It's an action. You're not gripping, but you're lifting. You're lifting. So then stretch both legs. Lift your trunk, open your chest, lift your chest up. Lift your chest up. If your hands are on your hips, this is very easy. And watch what happens to your tailbone when you lift your chest. It might want to come up. So the thumbs there help you monitor that pelvis. Then, maintaining the lift in your chest, extend yourself forward. That right leg is the left leg is poker straight. The right leg bends somewhere between a little bit and to 90 degrees. And then come up and square up your feet again, and then step them in. and change sides. Start with your feet parallel, wide apart, wiggle them out, especially if you find that you keep needing to move your feet in the pose. Try to get them as far out as you can to start with. It's a challenge. It's a good one. All right, then turn your right toes in, heel at the wall, turn the left leg out so the heel and the arch align. The knees can be a little soft as you turn your hip around. Then draw the tailbone inward and upward, pubic bone inward and upward. Draw your legs up underneath that alignment, firming the base. From just below your navel down, it's really firm. Hands on the sacrum or on the chair if you need to for balance. Lift your chest up. Keep that lift, press the right heel to the wall, and bend your left knee. Keep your hips square. Keep your breath slow and steady. This is where breath gets to be important, because these are effortful. And come up. Square your feet. Step your feet in. And stand just for a moment in Tadasana. All right. Get a wrinkle in my mat. Then now we're going to do Virabhadrasana 3. This is the one. It starts off, let me demonstrate this. Very much like Virabhadrasana. I'll do it here because this is what you're used to seeing. It starts off here, just as we have been doing. And we bend the knee. And I've been telling you to lift the chest. Now I'm telling you to lean forward, step forward, so that you can hold the chair, lift up that back leg, drop that hip, lift the leg. There's my toes way back there. And then bring the leg down and lift up. So one of the things I want to say too is that there may be some in this class that could do that without a chair. And I would encourage you to do that because it's very strengthening. In this class though, I'm going to encourage you to embrace these modifications because they give you an opportunity to stay in the pose longer, become more aware of what's happening and to adjust it. So it gives you more time to notice. Are you ready? All right, let's go. So step your feet wide apart. Left foot at the wall, right foot out. Then we're going to turn the left toes inward, away from the wall. Turn the whole right leg outward. Put your hands on your sacrum or hold the chair if you need to. Absolutely do that. It's fine. You're going to get plenty to do here holding the chair. Soften the knees first so that the pelvic action is easy. Hold the pelvic action. Straighten the legs. Extend the legs. Spread the feet. Extend the legs. Lift up through the trunk. Broaden your chest. This is expansion. Take an inhale, extend up. As you exhale, expand and move into that bent knee pose. Now, take your hands forward to the chair. Lean forward. You're going to step forward. Take the back leg up. It could be up here, wherever you can take it. Ideally, it is in line with your hip. Now, this hip wants to go up. This hip has to come down, right? So take that hip down, extend your trunk, extend through the legs, tailbone to pubic bone, firm, lengthen through the abdomen, shoulders back, neck long, and breathe. And then bring that foot down, stretch it back to the wall, walk yourself up, turn your feet, and step. I want to see how everybody's doing on this. How's everybody doing?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the leg that is to the wall,
Yes.
the edge of the foot touching the wall, or it's just the back of the heel?
Okay, that's a very good question. And the answer really is what you can manage to do. Ideally, your whole foot, if you had measured perfectly, your whole foot would be on the wall. That takes some practice. And so if your foot even doesn't touch the wall, the world is fine. The main thing is to lift your trunk, be strong in the standing leg, strong in the leg you're lifting, to find the balance in what you're doing. And these are challenging poses, there's no doubt at all. And so find the balance in what you're doing and use the support you need and the time in the pose to recognize where you can improve and figure out how you could. Does that make sense, Hannah? That make sense? Okay, all right. So, anyway, let's do this second side. Okay, so we're going to start by stepping both feet parallel and get a really, really big distance. Draw your legs up, get straight, extend up through your trunk, and then turn the right toes forward, turn the left toes forward, and then bring that right hip around, the left hip back. So allow that turn to go, it's not a twist, but it has a little bit of an element of a twist, to twist your whole body in a different direction than your legs are going. Then, when you've got the body settled over the legs, begin to extend the legs more, firming them, drawing the top thighs inward, pubic bone to tailbone, inward and upward. Take an inhale. Thumbs on the sacrum, lift your chest. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Press the right heel to the wall. Take an inhale. Extend. As you exhale, expand and move forward over the chair. Bringing that back heel upward. Rolling the heel outward, toes inward. The leg that's lifted, roll the heel outward, toes inward. Breathe. And then stretch that leg to come down. Walk your hands up and step in. Take a breath. All right. You all are doing very well. Okay, now we've got, yes. We're going to do, we're going to move laterally to the wall now. So you can move your chair over to the right side. So we're going to practice triangle pose here. Not that triangle pose is a resting pose in and of itself, but it's a little break from what we were doing. So with your chair on the right side now, you're going to stand back near the wall. Find your Tadasana at the wall. Just take a moment and find Tadasana. Then you're going to step forward just a little more than before, but then you're going to, this is triangle pose, so take your left leg out, right leg out, get yourself lifted, feet parallel, chest up, shoulders back and down. Turn your left toes in, turn your entire right leg out. Then you have to use these muscles at the top of the leg, bottom of the glute, to rotate your thighs from inside to out. Lifting up through your trunk, stretch your arms. Your arms will get a little below shoulder height and your shoulders are going to want to start helping. So when you bring your arms down again and notice that, oh, there's my shoulders wanting to help. At this moment, then, firm your shoulder blades into the back ribs. Draw the shoulders down, and the bottom tip of the shoulder blade goes into the back ribs. Then stretch your arms firmly. Downward pressure helps to lift the tricep. Then inhale, extend up from the feet, through the trunk, out the fingertips, up the head. And as you exhale, expand yourself so that the movement comes at the hip. Notice the side body is going to stay long. You can put your hand on the side of on the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. Keep moving the legs. Even after your hand has touched, keep stretching and extending your legs, lengthening the right side of the trunk. When that process seems to have settled in, realign, restretch your shoulders, restretch your arms, begin to rotate through your trunk, twisting your trunk more toward the ceiling, letting that rotation move through your neck so that your head is looking at the ceiling, maybe at your thumb. And then pull up with the left arm to come up and square up your feet. Stand with your feet together. So now if these poses are getting a little strenuous for you, be more modest with them. Don't go so far, okay? Move your chair to the other side. Stretch your left foot under the chair, step back. Start with your feet squared. Why is that important? It's important because it helps you get perpendicular to the chair. As I was setting up just now, I was ready to go, and I hadn't done this. And all of a sudden I realized this heel was at the wall, this one is in the more forward, right? So that helps you know where you are in space. So get your body parallel to the wall, perpendicular to your chair. Turn your right toes in, turn your whole left leg out. The knees can stay soft for just a moment, because now we want, when you do this turn of the pelvis, softening the knees doesn't mean to soften all the muscles of your legs. It means to just give a little bit of slack so that there's an opening here. It's not that easy to see on the screen, I'm sure. But instead of turning everything in the knee turning, keep the knees where they are, turn your hips, tailbone to pubic bone, extend up your trunk. Now then, press the feet into the floor. First we're pressing, then extending the feet on the floor and extend up through the legs, up through the trunk. See that this alignment stays, this connection up through your trunk. Take your arms up. Notice when your shoulders start to come up. And take that moment to draw them down, tuck the bottom of the shoulder blade into the rib cage, extend your arms and use a downward pressure there, and breathe. Take an inhale, extend. As you exhale, expand the strength of that extension through your body. When you reach the chair, whether it's the top of the chair is fine. Either place, I have to move back to work there. Either place, you can press on the chair, lift up your body, and stretch the other arm, and then work at the bending and moving over. This is a fine pose. Breathe. Shoulders are back, chest is open. And then pull up with that right arm, square up your feet, and then step together. And stand. Feel how that lateral motion has a different effect than this front back motion. Talks a little bit more about expanding in many ways. Okay, let's repeat. So get the feet wide apart. Start with them parallel. I have a bad habit. And so it's so important for me to stop and make my feet parallel. It's important for everyone. Then, even though the knee is soft, it stays back as you work to turn your hips so that they square. So you should get stretch in this area. Then, using the muscles on the back of this leg, pull yourself up, extend up through the trunk, lift your chest, stretch your arms, shoulders down, strong shoulder blades into the back, take an inhale. As you exhale, expand yourself. Expand the strength, the awareness, the intention. Once you've touched, you have some support. Improve the legs. Improve the pelvis. Roll it so that that right hip goes forward more, left hip back. Move those legs more away from the chair. You can press on the chair. Whether you're in the seat of the chair or on the back of the chair, press on the chair to help you move your legs. Then lengthen, revolve, spiraling through your trunk so you can look up. Keep breathing. And then use that top arm to pull up. All right, step together. So now we're going to sit. I'm going to sit to the side so you can see better what I'm doing. But you can put your chair right up front. It doesn't really matter. I'm just doing this to the side so that you can see. Okay, so we're just going to stand in front of the chair, Tadasana for a moment. All the elements of Tadasana. You can have your feet slightly apart though in this Tadasana. But the toes go in a little bit more. Press those heels down. So there's a pressure, there's a pressurizing. It's not that pressing or lifting or gripping or anything like that is not correct. It is correct. But then there's another step you can take. So expand and press the feet on the floor. Extend. So yes, we do grip up the legs. We do firm up the glutes, the lower abdomen. And then the next step is to extend, which hopefully that concept draws that action a little deeper into you. Shoulders are back, head is back, arms are firm. Extend through your fingertips. Keep all of that extension. We're going to bend at the hip. Inhale, lift up, firm legs, look straight ahead. Keep looking straight ahead. Come down until Your hands meet the chair. Don't reach for the chair. Bend until you get there. If the seat of the chair is too low, then turn it around and use the back of the chair. It's perfectly fine. What I want is the trunk and the legs to be at 90 degrees. That's all. You can go further, but I don't want that distortion today. I want you to now pay attention to the back of your legs, spreading the hamstrings on the back of the legs. So there's these muscles across the top of the back of the leg. Fan out. Expand the feet, extend the feet on the floor. Expand and extend the legs so that the whole leg is engaged. Then let that action move up to the tailbone pubic bone. It's in a different orientation now. Can you take the tailbone and the pubic bone toward one another? Then extend. Take your shoulders down. Remember the shoulder blades on the back ribs. Pull the shoulders down toward the waist and pull the whole trunk away from the waist. Up through the neck and the back of your head. So look ahead, not straight ahead because that's a little too much, but not down either. Somewhere in between. Maybe 45 degrees would be a good description there. Then take this time and look, feel. Is there action throughout your body? Did your knees get soft? Did your legs get soft? Where did it go wrong? And what can you improve? And breathe. And then let's come up. Stand for just a moment. Tadasana. And then let's go to the floor. These classes, our classes are so fast. So let's go to the floor. We're going to have, and I'll be sideways so that you can see a little better. I'm going to give you a choice here because I know that there are people for whom sitting on the heels is very, very difficult. And we're short on, we don't have a lot of time to work with it. So you can do a couple of things. You can, if it's just a mild issue, you can roll up your blanket like this and sit on that. Then you'll have another blanket for your chair. Okay? If you can sit on your heels, toes together, knees apart, do that. If you can't, because of knee issues, because of problems with the foot, all right, and if you have ankle problems, I've taught you to prop right underneath your ankle, okay? In these classes, there's not a lot of time to fiddle with all those things. That's the value of having the recording. Because then if you need more prop, if you need more time to set up, you pause it and you get to do all that and then come back to it. All right. So now this is going to be our resting. So take your glasses off. If you're a taller person, you can put another blanket here too, by the way. So we want to move from the hip. That will not be successful unless we activate the legs to start with. The action in the legs is as if I was going to get up from here, but I'm not. I want to make that activation of pressing the shins down, expanding out through my toes, extending up through my trunk, expanding out, taking another inhale, extending, and on the exhale, expanding, moving from the hip, putting the arms on the chair, You may want to move your chair forward, you may want to pull it up, but don't overextend. Make this comfortable and rest your forehead on your folded arms. Soften your shoulders back towards your waist. Draw your waist up away from the floor. Keep your breath slow and steady now. Change the cross of your arms. Adjust your pose, see if there's an improvement, an extension, an opening. And then slowly begin to come up, inhaling. Just sit tall for just a moment. Shoulders are down, chest lifts, is long. Okay. And then come out of that pose. You can take the blanket out of your chair. And I want you to lay down for a moment with nothing under your head at this moment, unless there's a real reason to do that. But ideally, you're going to lay down flat. And again, you can leave your glasses off here. We're resting and restoring. Having our legs up in this chair allows a refreshment to come to the legs after their work today. If your legs are longer, then you may need to put 1 or 2 blankets in the chair. Ideally, you want, not quite, but close to a 90-degree angle of the thigh and the shin. And then you can have your elbows bent, especially if you're at close quarters like I am. Bring your bent elbows up to the side. Can you see me? Up to the side, and just, we call this Goalpost Asana. So your elbows are bent. Tuck your shoulder blades down so they're flat on the floor. So once again, if you are a longer leg, you can add some blankets under your shin when you watch the recording. And what you'll feel is that there's a release downward of the hip. When you have enough support under the shin, under the lower leg, then the thigh can extend, expand, and release downward. And that in turn allows the pelvis, all the muscles of the pelvis, the the glutes, the abs. Well, there's a lot more. Let them relax. When that relaxes, you might find yourself wanting to take a nice deep inhale, a nice deep exhale. Remember to breathe through your nose. And as you exhale, expand. You could do several of those. The extension now is a softer action. You can extend your awareness as you inhale throughout your body to your fingertips, your toes, crown of your head, and evaluate the position. And as you exhale, expand, soften, in this case, release. It doesn't all, when we're doing those standing poses, we're not softening. In this case, we are. The awareness spreads to the periphery from the deepest part. So that we can observe how we're doing on the surface. Then we'll sort of reverse the pathway back toward the center. As we soften the skin, and at any time, if this position feels uncomfortable in the arms or the legs, absolutely you should change. You can take the arms down to the side with the palms up. You can take the legs out of the chair and rest them on the floor. Let your awareness move from the outside to the inside now. This idea of extension now is strictly awareness, whereas before it was physical and mental. Now it is mental and physical. We are using our mind to soften and expand and release this body. Let that release move deeper and deeper into you with each breath. Softening until you are at peace. Quiet. Maintain a slow, steady, nurturing breath for yourself. And now, unfortunately, it is time for us to come out of this lovely relaxation by gently moving fingers and toes and wrists and ankles. You can, if your legs are still on the chair, you can bend your knees and put the heels just on the front of the seat of the chair. You could interlock your fingers and Just let them rest on your knees. Soften your shoulders down. If your knees don't bend quite so far, you can put your hands underneath the knee right there at the top, behind the knee where those big tendons are. I'll taught you that. And just hold there so that your shoulders can relax down. Take some nice deep breaths. And then if it's possible in your space, roll to your right side. So take that right arm up above your head. Roll to the right side with your knees bent and rest there for a moment. Thinking of that concept even now of expansion, extension as you breathe. It's not an effortful thing, it's a thoughtful thing. And then roll forward on an exhale. And as you inhale, push yourself up to sitting. And sit straight and tall. Sit in any comfortable position. Sit straight and tall. You can sit in your chair or on the floor as you like. Think of the concepts that we've been working with through class, expansion and extension. Use your breath. Let your mind explore what that could mean to you in this position. Then join your palms. Bring the thumbs to the center of your chest. Gently lift that skin up. Release your shoulders down. Inhale. Keep the lift of your chest as you exhale. As you exhale, expand. Expanding doesn't mean relaxing. It means broadening your awareness. Take a moment to be grateful for all the blessings of your life, including this Zoom format that we've been able to use to continue our yoga practice together. Namaste. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the class. Wonderful.
I'm so glad you liked it.
Thank you, Susie, once again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Susie.
Susie. Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
Thank
Susan.
you. We're the Monday people. How was the class for you? How was it for you, Reva?
It was good except for the one on the chair. I had trouble with that one.
Yeah, the one where we lifted the leg up, or which one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was probably easily the most challenging one we had.
Yeah, that one I had trouble with. The rest were great.
I'm going to tell you that when I started using this extension expansion idea, for example, on the wall, you know, I'm used to teaching an hour and a half. I have a whole nother hour we could spend together. When I was doing this squat pose on the wall,
Thank you, Susie.
it was always about this muscle here and when I got more thoughtful about it and began to think of extension and expansion, and then extension and expansion, and then extension and expansion, the pose has got a lot more holistic for me. So I really would encourage you guys to try it. The same thing doesn't work for everybody, but maybe it will work for you. You never know. And I try to give you a lot of ideas to play with. So namaste.